Hi, everybody. This is Louise from O'Neill Marketing, and I want to welcome everyone with us today as we take some time to learn about what United HealthOne and SureBridge are able to offer us. We're happy to have your attention for the next hour. We've got a good group here. And United HealthOne is one of our most well-respected and trustworthy companies that we work with. And our topic today will be two off-market health products. We'll be talking about short-term medical, which is an alternative to ACA, and short-term medical is for your healthy clients that don't qualify for a subsidy. We will also focus today on supplemental insurance. And the reason we sell supplemental is because every plan needs supplemental. There is always an opportunity to make someone's plan better. And as an agent, we should be discussing how we can create the best possible plan for our clients. We need to show our clients as much coverage as possible before we start dialing it back. And doing this really is a better sales strategy than showing them the minimal coverage. You, of course, in addition to that, you will earn more commissions if you get into the habit of building supplemental sales into every discussion with your clients. Today, I want to welcome Bobby Joe from UHO and Kristen from SureBridge, who will speak again, not only about short-term medical, but also their robust portfolio of supplemental products. We will be recording this webinar, and also we will be providing everyone with a copy of the presentation that I will email to you afterwards. Please feel free to go ahead and type in your questions using the Q&A over on the left-hand side of your screen. And after the presentation, Bobby, Joe, and Kristen will be able to address your questions. So I will turn it over to you now, ladies.
Thank you so much, Louise, and thank you, O'Neill Marketing, for giving us the opportunity today to share with you some of the United HealthOne products. You laid it out really well for me. So I'm Bobby Jo Massey here at United Healthcare. My role here is a broker account executive. So to help train and educate brokers on our products, our website, help to find solutions, and help with escalated issues. So as Louise mentioned earlier, we're going to go through today. I can't advance my slide here, so bear with me. There we go. Sorry about that. We're going to quickly go through short-term medical. I'm not going to go through any deep dive training today. I'll point you in a direction where you can do deep dive training sessions. Today really is to educate you on what is available, pique your interest on it, and invite you to reach back out to me with deeper questions or help that might be needed. So being that we are post-ACA open enrollment, we do want to talk about an important product, which is short-term medical. I'll then talk about the current pre-65 market and how we can well round out someone's coverage with supplemental plans, really taking care of them and properly insuring them. We'll go through a couple live quoting quote combinations basically for consumer protection. And then I'll finish with the current bonuses that are going on right now before I pass it over to my colleague, Kristen, to go through some SureBridge opportunities for each and every one of you. So today, short-term medical, we are currently on generation 7 of our product in most states. And the reason I wanted to talk about this product quickly today is because we are post-ACA open enrollment. Last year, we had ACA open enrollment pretty much all year long, and that is not the case this year. So we do want to outline for you where this product could possibly help you and your clients out today and in the future. So just to think about maybe who is an ideal customer for this product. It is for those that can't access, can't afford, refuse to buy ACA, and then also to kind of work within those gaps of coverage. So for those that we say can't afford ACA, maybe it's an individual who is getting little to no premium subsidy, therefore deems ACA too expensive for them. They can look at short-term medical as an alternate option. When I say can't access ACA, we just talked about it. We're not in an open enrollment period. Your client may not have a special enrollment. So that may be a reason they would look at this product. Another really big one is network insufficiencies. So ACA in many of the states, we're dealing with HMOs or EPOs, and a client may deem that current network insufficient for them and therefore wants to look at a more broader network. The United Healthcare short-term medical plans is using the largest network in the nation, which is nationwide. This network will also help out those that with ACA, their plan doesn't go across borders, state borders. So it can work for out of state college students, snowbirders, those that RV, those that refuse to buy ACA, that can be for just personal or political reasons. And then lastly, to work within those gaps of coverage, right? Maybe it's now bridging the gap to the next ACA open enrollment period. Maybe they moved from one employer to the other. Maybe they've just started at an employer and have 30, 60, 90 days before they're eligible for their group coverage. And then a really big one is bridging a client to Medicare age, right? You may have trailing spouse situations, whereas a husband goes to Medicare, but the spouse may have a couple months, a couple years before they're Medicare eligible. This may be a lower cost alternative to ACA for them to consider. One of the biggest things I always like to point out when we talk about short-term medical is that pre-existing conditions will never be covered on these plans, right? The way to position it to your consumer is for new stuff, new accidents, new illnesses, new injuries, newly prescribed prescriptions. What we deem as pre-existing is, and that is not going to be covered, typically is a 2-year look back period. Texas and North Carolina is just a 1-year look back period. But basically, what we're saying in the last 2 years, whatever that client went to the doctor for, sought out advice treatment for, has taken medication for, will be deemed pre existing and therefore not covered on this short term plan. So, again, that's one of the caveats that I like to place out there right away so you can share this with your consumer. One of the biggest selling features of any of United Healthcare's core medical plans is having access to the United Healthcare network. Depending on the state, it'll be utilizing the Choice or Choice Plus network. Same amount of doctors within the network. It is the largest network in the nation. I can confidently say that, bringing access to 1.4 million physicians from coast to coast. Over 85% of the hospitals nationwide are in our network. So that's over 6,500 hospitals. A significant win for us in the Texas market is having MD Anderson in Houston in the network. So what that means, being a true national network, maybe a client buys this plan in Florida and they want to go to the best cancer facility that maybe they deem that be MD Anderson in Houston. Because it is in our network, they can go ahead and seek out that provider in the Houston market to take care of maybe their cancer needs. So again, the largest network in the nation, not only is it nationwide and allowing them access to so many providers and facilities across the United States, it's the significant buying power. That's the thing that we would want the customer to understand when buying this plan. Is immediately out of the gate, when they go to an in-network provider, on average, they will see a 56% discount. That's a huge buying power that United Healthcare has and a big win for your clients right out of the gate. So please utilize that to your advantage in your sales presentation to your customers. There are 5 core medical plans within the short-term portfolio, and I'm going to narrow that down for you here in just a moment. So of the 5 plans, all of them provide $2 million policy maximum per person per term, except for the Purple Value Plan. That's a $1 million. And then on the right-hand side, you will see the 5 different deductible choices, $2,500 all the way up to $15,000. That is a per person per term deductible with a maximum of 2 per family. That essentially means if a family of 4 were to purchase a $5,000 deductible, once 2 members in that family meet that $5,000 deductible, we will waive the deductible on the other family members. The Premier Elite plan on the very top, that actually makes up less than 2% of our total sales. It basically is a family deductible that they're applying for, $5, $10, or $14,000. So as I said earlier, with these 5 plans, I want to narrow it down for you real quickly to simplify it for you when you're out there quoting. Our best-selling plans are at the very bottom, that purple value, and then the other bestseller is the Green Plus Elite that has that red star next to it. That Plus Elite plan is my absolute favorite plan, and it is the easiest plan to explain to your consumers because that plan does not have any coinsurance exposure. So Plus Elite plan, once they meet their deductible, they are covered 100%. So again, best sellers here is the purple value and the Green Plus Elite. Those 2 plans combined make up about 70% of our total sales. Outside of the network and the discounts for in-network services, the other thing that should be at the forefront of your sales presentations is the unlimited urgent care visits. All of the plans come with it. So $50 copay, unlimited to an in-network urgent care facility, and that is an all-inclusive urgent care copay. What I mean by that is if a client should go to urgent care for bronchitis, they have their visit and they have their chest x-ray, it will be $50 and no more than that in and out of urgent care, so long as the caveat is all services must be rendered in the same facility, come to us on the same bill, by the same taxpayer ID, and it will cost your client no more than $50 in and out of urgent care. The other important thing I wanted to point out is regarding preventive care. There's a misconception that there is no preventive care benefits within the short-term portfolio, and that's not the case. It just varies from state to state by Department of Insurance requirements. So just to give you an idea of preventive care coverage, this is Florida example. So you'll see a mammogram, pap smear, colorectal cancer screening, PSA testing, contraceptives, all being covered, deductible, then coinsurance. So that means being covered, they're going to be able to take advantage of that average 56% network discount. Child well checks, you'll see, are covered at coinsurance level right away. And childhood immunizations are covered 100%. Pretty much on all of our short-term plans that you will see from state to state, you will not see an adult physical and the adult blood and lab work being covered on the short-term plans. So as it relates to payment, I wanted to point this out because the customer has the ability to pay via monthly or lump sum. The reason I wanted to point this out here, and you'd be surprised how many people do take advantage of that lump sum pay, whether they're buying a 6-month plan or a 12-month plan, if they have the ability to make a lump sum payment for their entire policy up front, they will have a 18% premium savings. Now, we do not do any direct billing, so all of the payments are only allowed via EFT or credit card. With these short-term plans, they are available to primary insureds who are 19 to 64 and 11 months. We do not do any child-only plans. Dependents can stay on their parent's plan up to age 26. They must be a resident of the United States for the last 12 consecutive months. And then there is simplified underwriting. The application for your field underwriting is within your broker portal. And basically what we're doing is looking back 5 years for anything significant that would disqualify them. If they have to answer yes to any question, they would be an auto decline. So within the last 5 years, things like blood, liver, kidney disorders, COPD, emphysema, diabetes, cancer. You'll see heart and circulatory system disease and disorders are in auto decline within the last 5 years. If they have high blood pressure or high cholesterol, but have never been diagnosed with a heart or circulatory system disease or disorder, they would be eligible for this plan. So phase one of underwriting is being able to honestly answer no to these 6 questions on the application. Then phase two, they would have to be within our height and weight chart. And this is a tool that is also available to you within your broker portal. And then lastly, United Healthcare does not run an MIB report. We will just go ahead and look at our own internal claims database to see within the last 5 years if we processed any claims that were for one of the medical conditions on the application. If we found that we processed a claim with a diabetes code on it and the client answered no on the app, we will decline them. Now, there has been situations where doctors may have miscoded a claim. So if they do disagree with that declination, they can go ahead and submit to us last 5 years of medical records for us to go ahead and take a deep dive and hopefully be able to overturn that declination and offer them coverage. So again, I just wanted to quickly talk about the short-term plans because we are post-ACA open enrollment. And as Louise was saying earlier, there are individuals who are in open enrollment with ACA and still may look at this short-term option as a lower cost alternative. Maybe it's the network strength. So those are other reasons why this could be a good product to have within your portfolio. So shifting gears now, I do want to kind of talk about the pre-65 market and means to properly insure our individuals. So I turned to the Kaiser Family Foundation a lot for a lot of my research and data. They're great at doing surveys. So in 2021, they did a survey of those that are currently insured to understand where they had difficulties affording expenses. Now, this was pre-2022, or maybe now it'll look a little bit different where gas is a more expensive. Your food bill is a little more expensive. So again, this is pre-2022. But as you can see here, the dark blue bars are the items that are pertinent to our health insurance world. So again, these were individuals who were insured, and they said they had a very or somewhat difficult time. The very top one, almost 50%, 46% of individuals saying out-of-pocket costs for medical care not covered by insurance. Out-of-pocket costs for medical care not covered by insurance. This is what I want to address today. Yes, there's dental care as number 2, hearing and vision. Down lower is the cost of health insurance itself and prescription drugs. But this is just to outline there is a need in the market for it. Those individuals are saying they can't afford their out-of-pocket costs. And kind of to talk about the healthcare financial reality is statistics also show 68% of Americans have less than $1,000 set aside for unexpected expenses. So now if they have a plan that has more than $1,000 of exposure, we know 68% of Americans don't have that money set aside to cover that expense. You'll also see 66% of all bankruptcies are due to medical debt. So it is important that we go ahead and try to properly protect our individuals and well round out their coverage. Statistics are also very helpful in selling these plans. Also, sometimes it becomes an emotional buy. They might know a family member who has experienced this hardship for financial or medical expenses. But we also can look at some of these statistics on the right-hand side. 43 million ER visits a year. And once you factor in office visits, now you're talking about 80 million accident claims a year. Hospital statistics, you'll see over 36 million hospital admissions a year, average of 4.5 days in a hospital stay, and that cost per day being over $10,000. So it is important for us to try and cross-sell or properly insure your individuals with supplemental plans. What is that going to do for you as the broker? It is going to improve your lifetime commission value per client. It'll lower your cost per acquisition expenses. It'll improve your persistency or client retention. And as it relates to your clients, it'll reduce their medical out-of-pocket risk, protect their assets, and then also they can come into play to cover expenses that are not included in their current medical plan. So keeping that in mind and the importance of why we want to properly insure our individuals, United Healthcare is making it easier for you to sell supplementals by getting more into that guarantee issued space. We aren't going to talk about dental vision and our teledoc through Healthiest You, but I do want to talk about the accident combination plans that we offer, and then a brand new hospital plans that we have. So just to start out, I'm going to talk about the hospital plans. These became an important on someone's radar plan with COVID hospitalizations that have happened over the last several years. So looking at the hospital plans that we now have, we have two different plans that launched for their very first time in the middle of December last year. Hospital Guard and Hospital Safeguard. I'm going to talk about the lower end product first, and then we'll talk about the Safeguard. So the lower end product, Hospital Guard, the blended average between the three plans is an average of $25 per member per month premium. $25 per member per month premium. So this can work for a very low income individual who might have a pretty significant subsidy with their ACA plan. Or if they might have some other core medical plan that they're looking to round out coverage for. So what this plan will do, as you can see across the top, we have three different plans, plan A, B, and C. Again, I'm not going to go through a deep dive. These are all snips right out of your product brochure that you can go ahead and take a look at if this does pique your interest. But the Hospital Guard plan will pay out a set dollar amount for hospital confinement, ICU, and critical care unit, in addition to their hospital confinement, and then their first hospital admission benefit. You'll also see in plans B and C, there will be a payout amount for doctor office visits and urgent care visits. And then at the very bottom, you'll see a accidental loss of life, limb, or sight benefit rider. So these are the three categories that are covered in the Hospital Guard plan. If we were to take a look at that low end product here, that plan A, I just want to show a claims example. This would be a hospital admission, whereas the client was in the hospital for 7 days, 3 of which were in the ICU. These benefits stack or pay out for each piece of the plan off of the schedule. So once you look at the hospital admission, the 3 days in ICU, a total of 7 days in the hospital, the client for that low end product will get a check for $7,500. Again, this will pay out directly to them. They can use it to pay exposure they may have on their core medical plan, or they may be able to utilize it for being off of work for a couple weeks, a couple months. It could be income replacement, or maybe they'll need a wheelchair accessible van. They could use this money however they see fit. Moving up within that portfolio is the Hospital Safeguard GI plan, guarantee issued, again, making it easier for you. There are 4 different plans within this portfolio. The average, blended average, is around $80 per member per month. So now getting up there to probably a client that's above 300% of the federal poverty level. When you talk about something for $80 per member per month premium. But here too, through the 4 different plans you have, plan 500 all the way up to plan 2000, you have your hospital confinement benefit, ICU and critical care that pays in addition to that, and your hospital admission. Really where this is getting more robust is now pulling in inpatient surgery and anesthesiologist. You'll see emergency room. You'll see ambulance, both ground, water, and air ambulance. In addition to this, there are outpatient services. So all 4 plans will have doctor office visit or urgent care visit payouts, along with diagnostic imaging and testing. You'll see labs, x-rays, MRIs, and then at the very bottom, you're going to see outpatient surgery and anesthesia. And then lastly, within that offering of the hospital safeguard, you'll see the wellness or preventive benefits, and then also the accidental loss of life, limb, or sight benefit rider. So here too, if this one is, like I said, not just hospitalization, now we're talking about inpatient and outpatient surgery. We got preventive care, we've got office visits, we got diagnostic imaging and lab and x-ray. We're going to take a look at that utilizing the very low end product here, Plan 500, looking at around the same type of situation. Although we're going to say they took an ambulance ride to the ER, whereas then they were admitted and had that 7 days in the hospital, 3 of which were in ICU. Once you stack these pieces of the puzzle together, of the schedule, this client would be paid $67.50. Again, regardless of other insurance, this is what that plan will pay out. So that is the hospital guard and the hospital safeguard. It can work for somebody who has whatever their core medical is, whether it's group insurance, ACA, short term, maybe it's tri-term. These plans can work for all of that. Again, it's guarantee issued. The other product I wanted to talk about is our accident plans that are guarantee issued. We've got on the left-hand side our traditional AME plan, which is accident from $5,000 all the way up to $20,000. That same amount, whichever they choose, is then paired to that same amount in accidental death and dismemberment. On the right-hand side, this accident ProGap really has become our bestseller. Last summer, it went guarantee issued, and that created this product to really take off. So as you can see here, benefit amounts are a little bit lower. You've got $2,500, $5,000, or $7,500 as your accident benefit. That same amount would be paired to the AD&D. That same amount would be paired to the critical illness benefit. But the fourth component that is brought in here is hospital admission for a sickness over 24 hours. It would be $2,500 per person. One thing that sets United HealthCare apart in the industry with an accident, critical illness, hospitalization plans that are out there in the industry today is our critical illness benefit will pay out 3 times over the life of the policy. Like most of them that I see out there, it's once and you're done. Here it is 3 times over the life of the policy. And it's not just cancer, heart attack, and stroke. You'll see there are 3rd-degree burn. You'll see paralysis, loss of hearing, speech, vision, a lot of heart illnesses at the very bottom, coronary artery bypass graft. You'll see a stent emplacement. So again, multiple different conditions here. The thing to point out here is that it does have an initial 30-day wait period for critical illness. The primary insured gets the full amount chosen, and dependents get 50% of that. And then, like I said, it pays out 3 times over the life of the policy. So that was the hospital plans that we offer, as well as the accident plans that I wanted to share. Now, what I'd like to do is jump into the broker portal to go through some live quoting with you. Before I do that, though, I should point out, we utilize Milliman Actuarial, and as you can see here, as it relates to claims, statistics through Milliman actuarial show that 84% of claims are under $5,000. 84% under $5,000. So what I typically try to steer for is to at least get supplementals that are covering that 5,000. You absolutely have the means to go above and beyond that through a lot of the products we offer. But again, a starting point is to try and secure that coverage being at least 5,000. So for those of you who are currently contracted with us, this is your broker portal, uhone.com/broker. For those of you who are not contracted with us, I'd invite for you to get contracted so you have access to these plans. And what I would say is you would want to reach out to O'Neill Marketing to do so. We do, if the Department of Insurance charges us to appoint you, we then pass that appointment fee on to you. So you'll see many states do not have an appointment fee. However, there are some states that do, as you can see, Texas, $10 for a broker and $10 for an agency. So again, if you need this information, feel free to reach out to me or O'Neill Marketing. But if you are not currently contracted, please do reach out to O'Neill Marketing to get contracted. But once you do get contracted with us, this will be your broker portal. Whereas, as I mentioned earlier, I wasn't going to go through deep dive product training. What I would encourage you to do is spend some time within the deep dive product webinars. So in the broker portal, underneath brochures, sales tools, and training, you will see webinars on demand. This basically is all of the webinars that are deep dive product training sessions on every one of our products. You can start and stop them as often as you need to, and it'll tell you approximately how long it'll take for you to get through that webinar session. The other place for resources would be underneath that brochures, sales tools, and training tab for brochures. So as I mentioned earlier, this is where you're going to get your application, so that way you can do your field underwriting. You'll see sample applications here. You'll see height and weight build charts, and then all of our product brochures. What I would like to do though today is I'd like to go through some live quoting and just go through a couple examples. I'd like to at least go through, oops, wrong tab here. I'd at least like to go through an ACA client. And if we do have time, I can take you through a short-term client. But for today, let's go ahead. We're going to click on the Get a Quote button. It's very easy as a broker to get quotes through this broker portal. If ever you're lost on our website, try to look for an orange call to action button. But for today, what I was going to do is a male that is 40 years old in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So as I plug in the client's zip code, choose the gender, I then would go ahead and plug in the client's zip code. With that, this broker portal is then programmed to only show for you the products that are available for this individual. So if this client is a husband and wife with children, you'll see family plan options. If it's a single, you're going to see single options that are available. So here, we're not going to, United Healthcare has got so many plan offerings, but we try to be something for everyone. So if you need help navigating through these plans, I can simply narrow it down to one or two of our best sellers to make it easier for you. But for the purpose of today, this first one that I wanted to go through was just looking at a client who is on an ACA option. Maybe it's an $8,700 out of pocket. The ACA client did not have a premium subsidy. So he's staring at $8,700 out of pocket. Let's take a look at those plans that we were just talking about. We talked about the hospital guard guarantee issued plans, and then the more robust plans, which are the hospital safeguard options. Just to give you an idea, I'm going to choose all of them to show you the pricing. And then I'm also going to grab a couple of our the 2 accident plans we were talking about. So once you choose the plans that you'd like to see a pricing for, you would then go ahead and click the orange view plans button. The broker portal then will start computing the price for this individual, male, 40-year-old, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It brings you immediately into an overview tab, in which I highly encourage you get off of it as quickly as possible, because you don't know what this is that you're looking at as far as benefits. So go specifically to the product detail tabs to customize the need for your client. So for this ACA client, remember we talked about that hospital guard plan where it was 7 days in the hospital, 3 of which were ICU, and it was going to pay out $7,500 cash to the client. It would cost this male $19 a month, $19 a month to basically, in that situation, get $7,500 paid out to him. So you could go ahead with that option, or you can look at the other more robust plans within the guard offering, or you can jump to the more benefit-rich hospital safeguard. Remember, this is the one that brings in surgery, inpatient and out. It brings in preventive care, office visits, labs, x-ray. Here, that example we were utilizing was the Safeguard Plan 100. So for only $61 a month, this individual would basically ambulance ride to the ER, 7 days in the hospital. That's the one that was paying out $67.50. So again, there are other options. You can get more benefit rich. But again, if they have a core medical plan, this might be sufficient for them. The other option to look at was the accident plans that we had talked about. And here you can go ahead and really customize it for whatever benefit amount you're looking for. As I said, Milliman suggests that we always go to at least that $5,000 benefit. I typically like to get up to that $7,500, especially if we know this individual has $8,700 out of pocket on their ACA plan. So just to kind of bundle that together and show you how that actually plays out, I went out this morning and grabbed an ACA premium. I'm going to jump past the short-term option. I'm going to look at Dan, who is the ACA client, non-subsidized 40-year-old. I went and grabbed an ACA plan in Florida for this individual. It was a Bright Health plan for $320 a month. Dan was going to be facing $8,700 out of pocket. He didn't get a premium subsidy. So when we do look at that Guard GI, lower end product for $19 a month, and then bring in the Pro Gap that has accident, critical illness, hospital for sickness, and accidental death. Now it's just $48 more a month. That would basically cover his out-of-pocket costs, majority of them in an accident or critical illness situation, when you're talking about critical illness paying out something here, as well as within possibly the hospital guard plan. If you do want to take it a step up and move into the safeguard, you could do that same thing. The Safeguard Plan 500, as we said, $61. Here, just maybe we draw back and don't go to the Pro Gap, and we just go to an accident plan for $10,000. You'll see that added together is $85, $86 a month premium. So again, a great way to round out your coverage. There's so many horror stories I hear about clients who have had high deductible health plans that were not properly insured or were underinsured. Bundle these things together to minimize that client's out of pocket. It helps with client persistency. As Luis had mentioned earlier, it also helps to increase your compensation. You are not just getting your ACA commission, you are also getting these ancillary commissions as well. The other thing to point out too is, maybe Dan, this is an EPO network on his ACA plan. Maybe he goes out of network and doesn't have coverage on his ACA plan. This is where then maybe that hospital plan can come into play, because it's a PPO plan. It doesn't matter. The hospital safeguard is going to pay out the set dollar amounts for set services, regardless of where he goes to seek out care. I was going to go through a short-term option, but for time, I'm going to kind of scale over that. But you can do the same thing with a client who might be on a short-term plan, a group plan. You can grab some of these supplemental plans to well round out coverage for them and properly insure your clients. Before I switch it over to Kristen, I want to talk about our current bonus programs. We have 2 of them currently going on. All of our bonus programs do require that you register for them. So the Spring into Action is a bonus program for our short-term products, as well as our 3-year tri-term plan, in which we didn't talk about today. But this bonus started April 1st, goes all the way through July 31st. Again, you are required to register. Once you register, we will backdate registration to April 1st. So any previous business since April 1st would count towards this. We just ask that you get to a minimum of 15 applications by July 31st to get this payout. If you are a newly appointed broker with us and write 2 pieces of business within the first 60 days, you'll get a $100 bonus. And then the other bonus we currently have going on is grow your bonus by utilizing some of our ancillary plans. So we have a fixed indemnity product, Health Protector Guard, that's medically underwritten. Those are the first 2 rows you see here. The 3rd row is what we were talking about. The guarantee issued hospital plans. We have accident being paid out on this bonus, standalone critical illness, dental, our teledoc through HealthiestU. And then new benefits is a teledoc service, but also has some non-insurance discounts and services. So again, register, utilize this to help you gain some extra cash above and beyond commissions. So with that, I do want to thank you for allowing me to talk a little bit about the United HealthOne plans. I know we went through some of that case study with Dan and an ACA plan and some supplemental options. If you have a need help kind of putting a best fit together for your clients, you're more than welcome to call or email me anytime, and we can go through these options case by case for your specific client need. Again, if you are not currently contracted with us, I would encourage that you reach out to O'Neill Marketing to get contracted. So with that, I do want to go ahead and toggle over to another presentation, and that will be through my colleague Kristen, who will share some opportunities with SureBridge.
Great. Thank you so much, Bobby Joe. And good afternoon, everyone. Excited to be here. And Louise, thank you for having us. I'm going to give a little information about SureBridge because many of you may not be aware of who SureBridge is. We've been around for, almost 40 years now. Prior to my coming on, actually this month, it's been 11 years that I've been with the company. SureBridge Insurance was just marketing their products through their captive sales distribution. And 11 years ago, they decided to develop an external channel, and that's where I came in. And so it's SureBridge Insurance is just a marketing name. We're actually Chesapeake Life Insurance Company. Our distribution channel has grown from no sales all the way up to last year, we wrote over 40 million, and these are all just individual products. So we're really excited about the growth that we've had. And our prior growth actually caught the eye of United HealthOne, and we were purchased by United Health Group in February. It was 2 years ago. And so I get the great opportunity of working with the United HealthOne team. And so Bobby Joe and I are really going to be the team that works with everyone who comes on board with O'Neill Marketing. So we're really excited about that. What SureBridge has with regard to products are all individual ancillary products. So Bobby Joe, if you can forward. Great, and this kind of goes hand in hand. I was chuckling a little during Bobby Joe's presentation only because the proof points that she uses are many that I use. This is staggering. 62% of medical bankruptcies are due to medical bills. Please forward. What's staggering about this is that 75% of those people actually have insurance. So, you know, we're kind of putting it we're giving the same message, but in different visuals. Unfortunately, the out-of-pockets have gotten higher and higher. So you're not just providing health insurance, you need to provide health and well-being. By having your members, your clients protect their finances, I mean, your ability to make money is it is your greatest asset. And so if you lose that somehow and you don't have the ability to fill in those out-of-pockets, it's devastating. So that's why these types of products are so important. Please forward. Okay, so with SureBridge, we feel we've got a great advantage. This is not to take away from the products that Bobby Joe just presented to you. These are just additional opportunities for you to be able to fill in those blanks with your clients. We're going to be tickled if you sell the supplements with United HealthOne along with the short term, or we're going to be tickled if you sell it with SureBridge. So you're working with the same team no matter what. Over 90% of our submissions are issued in real time. So the max that it takes is generally 24 hours. So the turnaround time is amazing. We have a lot of different signature options to be able to fit your needs. You can do face-to-face, you can do email, voice signature, you can do screen sharing, and we also have a great text signature option. And you'll see that the text signature option is the same for both UHO as well as SureBridge. We've got a huge product portfolio, and I'm not going to go into any great details today on that. But what I would love is if any of you are very interested in these products, then let Louise know or anyone at O'Neill Marketing, and then we can set up a personalized training for the products that you're most interested in. And we've got what we call a smart app. Okay, so whatever product you're applying for, it's only going to ask the questions that pertain to that product. And again, everything's just web-based. The quoting system is very easy to use. It's very intuitive. And you'll find out that we're extremely easy to do business with. With regard to appointment fees, if you are an independent agent, then we will pay those fees for your resident state, but all out of state will be the responsibility of the agent. All right, please forward. So here's an overview. We have both senior and under 65 products. From the senior perspective, we've got a standalone vision plan, a standalone dental plan, and then we also offer a DVH plan. All of those plans are incredibly competitive. Two unique things. With the senior dental, and it's both for under and over 65, the plans are the same. But with the senior dental, the standalone dental, if someone has had prior coverage and they're coming onto this plan, they've had prior coverage for 12 months or longer without a 63-day gap in coverage, we will take over and waive those waiting periods. Okay, so that, in my opinion, is a huge selling point, especially for somebody who's looking, maybe going from a group plan and has retired and needs an individual dental policy. With the DVH plan, it's also a fantastic plan. The waiting periods are less on the DVH plan than they are on the senior dental. So someone who hasn't had dental in the past, they may want to look at the DVH plan then. Our hospital-wise plan is really unique. Again, it has over 65 as well as under 65 benefits that are the same. Why this is important in the senior market is we have a tool that is called our Senior Hospital-Wise Plan Builder. We're not very creative on the naming. However, with the Senior Hospital-Wise Plan Builder, you can go into our quoting system. Every MA plan in every zip code, well, I would say 99% of all MA plans in zip codes are already loaded into our plan builder. So you just click on the name of the carrier and then the plan that they're on. And what we do then, or what the system does, they will provide a recommendation that fills the holes of their current MA plan. So it takes all the guesswork out. Now, the hospital-wise, all the options that we have right now are underwritten, and we just have, it's simplified underwriting. We're never going to do an MIB. We're not going to do a script check. It's all just based on the information that the member, or that you and the member provide us at time of application. However, we do ask medical questions. Now, before AEP starts, if any of you are working in the senior market, we plan on having a guarantee issue amount as well. So we're really excited about that. And then we also have a critical illness plan that's both for under and over 65. Very similar in nature to the way that UHO does it. We have what we call 3 separate buckets. We've got heart stroke, we've got a cancer bucket, and then we have a critical condition bucket. And we go all the way up to $100,000 for the benefit. And whatever benefit dollar amount you choose, we'll pay 100% for each bucket. All right, forward, please. Next slide, Bobby Joe, if you could forward, that would be great. Thank you so much. This slide shows our under 65 product portfolio, which is pretty extensive. You can see that we've got the same hospital-wise, the critical illness. We also have a fixed indemnity plan. It is pretty heavily underwritten, and I would definitely recommend that people look at the hospital guard and the hospital safeguard instead, or they can look at our hospital-wise plan. We have a fantastic accident plan called Accident Companion that pays cash benefits to the consumer anytime that they go to either the urgent care or to the emergency room for an accident. And it ranges anywhere between $250 and an option all the way up to $1,000. There's no limit on the amount of times that you can go to the urgent care or go to the ER for an accident. So, some of these products, they pay for themselves. If someone goes to the ER one time and they've got the $1,000 option, it's $28 per member. They go one time, they're going to make over $600 in that year. So, I mean, these are just common sense types of products. The other thing that's really great about the Accident Companion is you can do children only. So if mom and dad want to save money and not get the Accident Companion on themselves, they can just get it on their kids, and that is not a problem at all. The dental and vision work the same way as well. And then we have 2 disability products. One's for accidents only, and one is for accident and illnesses. It's kind of a hybrid disability product, kind of between a short-term and a long-term disability. If anyone's interested in those types of products, please let Louise or anyone at O'Neill Marketing know, and I can certainly provide more details on that. Next slide, please. Okay, so here's our guarantee issue portfolio. And it's really important because if you're not used to selling supplemental plans or ancillary products, go with the guarantee issue first and see how easy it is. You can see our accident plans are all guarantee issue. The dental and vision, including DVH, is guarantee. The critical illness for under age 63, we have a $5,000 option and a $10,000 option that are guarantee issue. And then we've got the income protection direct for disability as well as the accident disability. We've got GI options on that. Next slide, please. Okay, so there's different things that you can say, and you can click right through this, Bobby Joe, to the bottom question. There are the different positioning ways and just asking the question. Sometimes we get too afraid and we think, you know, gosh, you let the member kind of lead the conversation. Don't be. You are a trusted advisor. So you have to ask them, hey, you know, the proof point that, excuse me, Bobby Joe had, that most people, over 68% of people, couldn't cover $1,000 expense. These are cash benefit products that pay money to the consumer for them to use however they want. So ask the questions. Help your clients to protect their finances. Next slide, please. So, you know, again, I kind of went through that just now. Those products, the majority of them pay directly to the clients. And we've got lots of different options within our products so they can fit whatever your clients are comfortable with. And, you know, if somebody says, well, gosh, I've never heard of SureBridge, chances are they probably haven't. But you can say, well, it's Chesapeake Life, which many people have heard of, and they're owned by United Healthcare. Next slide, please. Selling these products will absolutely help increase your retention, both for the health insurance as well as for our products. There's still so many agents out there that we see that are not willing to embrace going that extra step to protect their clients. So you're going to differentiate yourself from your competition. Just selling one additional product a week, I mean, and that's got to be easy. It's going to bring in an additional income of around $13,500. That's just one additional product a week. That's a big revenue stream. And your clients need these products. We're not trying to introduce things that, you know, would have to be pushed down someone's throat. They're things that people really believe in and that really help people. Next slide, please. And we've got a bonus for new agents. After you write your first 2 applications, you get a $50 bonus. That's what we've got consistently going right now. However, we always introduce new app bonuses. We just finished one on the end of April. So we'll certainly let you know when new ones come up. Next slide. I think that's it. Yes, thank you guys so much. I'm sorry we went right up to the hour. Louise?
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. You guys did a great job really articulating all of the benefits that you have to offer. And we appreciate all of our agents tuning in today. If you are not currently an agent with O'Neill and would like to join us, please reach out and we'd love to discuss that with you. Again, if you want these appointments with UHO and SureBridge, you can get those right from your agent portal, where we will also be posting a video of this webinar for your reference. I'll also be emailing you the slides to the presentation. So with that, I will thank you, Bobby Joe and Kristen, for joining us and all of our agents, and really appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.